So everyone's going to be coming and thinking that we're going to do part 2 of the adoption story today.
I know. I left them on a cliffhanger.
But they're going to have to wait.
They will have to wait.
They're going to have to wait because we thought we would do a little bonus episode where we talk about something that has got the internet up in arms.
A buzz.
A buzz. And it is.
Meow?
And it is the cat.
Kittygate 2025.
It was 2025.
It was 2025.
Okay, I was like, wait.
So, if you're listening to this, chances are you saw our video of the random cat that ended up in our house.
We'll set the stage of the night before. So we're laying in bed. It's honestly probably 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
It was late. And
Addie had just gotten up. She was crying. And she went back to bed. We're laying there just scrolling on our phones. And all of a sudden we hear, like that.
Just a little.
The very smallest sneeze. And we both looked at each other and went, what is that? And he got up immediately because I'm not getting up. Like, fuck that. Like, this is a you problem,
Always
whatever this
throwing
is.
me to the wolves.
So I sent Nicholas to check. He glances under our bed on each side, does a little walk around, checks to make sure that the kids are in their beds, and nothing seems out of place or out of the ordinary.
I thought it was Addie. I thought it was one of the kids. Now listen, if you have children, you know what we're talking about, right? Like, you hear that sound, but like you tend to dismiss it after a while because A, you assume that the kids are making noise, and B, you've given up on life. And
are we looking at the
care.
camera now? Is that something we're doing?
I do sometimes.
Oh.
It's like, hi, how are you?
I mean, yeah, I honestly thought Addie was just like laying on the floor because she had just been crying.
Yeah, I mean, it's not out of the ordinary for her to do something weird like that.
Yeah.
But she wasn't there. She was in her bed. And
so we just went to bed.
We just went to bed.
We didn't even think about it again. We just were like, maybe it was outside.
Maybe it wasn't a sneeze. Maybe it was outside. Maybe something like shifted. I don't know. It could have.
It could have been literally anything.
Could have been anything. And again, it was late, and I don't truly care. But also in the back of my mind, I was like, I'm gonna wake up with a raccoon on my face.
Oh my God, stop!
Like, there was a part of me that definitely thought that was gonna be a thing.
So then fast forward, we're sitting here to family movie night. We have Wicked on. Every light in our room, in the living room, is off. It is pitch black in here. And we get to, right before she gets on, right when they get to the Emerald City.
Yeah, it was during the Emerald City number. And I'm sitting across the living room.
And I'm with the kids on this side. So, like on the one side of the couch. So
I just see out of the corner of my eye
a shadow.
A 4-legged creature just strolling across the living room.
And it goes right behind the couch.
And my only response to that was, what the fuck is that? Because we don't have pets here. We don't have a pet in this house. We haven't had a cat in this house
a long time.
In 4 years.
Yeah.
And I was almost certain that it was a cat. Now, you started freaking out because you were like, what if it was a raccoon?
I only saw the tail end, like quite literally the tail end of the shadow. So I got up immediately, ran to the kitchen, got the kids, went to the kitchen because I was like,
turn your camera on.
You got to be ready to vlog these moments. This would have been a moment had I not missed opportunity. Anyway, so at this point, we are okay. So I want to backtrack for a second to say I have grown up with cats my whole life. Like, I am not a pet person, but I consider myself a cat person.
I like animals. I hate pets. For a variety of reasons. I don't hate your pets. I just hate the idea of pets in my own house. I've had too many bad experiences. You know, I mean, like, Wembley was a good cat, but like, I'm very allergic. Jason is very allergic, so we had to, move on from that. Like, yes, I know people are like, oh, how could he be allergic? Well, there's a picture of him with the cat on his face. Like,
he suffered for pretty much the entire time we had the cat.
I suffered a lot. And listen, like, if you own a cat that sits on faces, it sounds really weird. If you own a cat that sits on faces, you know that you're not doing anything about it.
A 30-pound cat.
He was a fat big boy. Fucker. He was Garfield in real life.
My parents have him now, by the way.
Yes, we didn't just get rid of him.
No, he's a good boy. We love him.
He's still in the family. So like we like animals. We just, we're not pet people anymore. My main concern was that we do have a lot of outdoor cats in our neighborhood, but I also I don't know what sort of diseases they might be bringing in. I don't know if they're friendly. I don't know.
I mean, you see those videos where there's a feral cat or a cat that has rabies and it just starts hissing, scratching, biting, bouncing off the walls. Like, I know it's not always the norm. And I get it when people saw the little cat just cuddled up behind the couch.
Yeah.
But that's when I wasn't scared either. I'm like, okay, fine.
We didn't know. So they were all in the kitchen. we had a blanket out here. I think Jason had like his comforter. Now I grabbed that, and what people saw in the video was me cowering in the corner basically. But I had the blanket because I was hoping to like chase the cat out from behind the couch and catch it in the comforter. So that way, like if it was going to start scratching, I wouldn't get scratched.
Yeah.
Because if I get scratched, my body's going to swell up. Like I'm not going to die, but like it's going to be a few days before I recover from that. And
I just felt the best option. So my sister lives here. A lot of people were like, "Did you seriously call maintenance?"
right,
No, we wouldn't, and we didn't. We called my sister. She lives in our complex,
she's a dog groomer
and she's a cat
professionally.
freak. Like
She's
she's
a cat
obsessed.
person. She's an animal person. She is the cat whisperer. She has been able to tame any wild cat,
So I knew she
anything
wouldn't
like that.
care. I knew she would get it and
So
not
we're
care.
like, all right, like she'll be able to help coax this cat out, and we can trap him, whatever, get it figured out where we can get this cat under control. And in the meantime, so Jason went over to our friend who also lives in the complex. She had a small like cat carrier that we could at least contain the cat until we figured
And
out
she had cat food.
what we were going to do. She had cat food. So it was a crazy moment because again, if you don't own like I tried to explain it to some people because a lot of people were giving us like flack online. They're like, "How could you be scared of a cat?" It's like, listen, I don't own a cat, so it was a shock. Like, just imagine. I kept telling people, I said, just imagine you have your back door open. Hi,
Do you
Adeline.
want to come tell them about the
Do you
cat?
want to come tell them about the cat? I said, just imagine that a bird flies into your house and you don't own a bird. You're not gonna like freak out just a little bit about it. Did we have a kitty in the house?
What did you think about that?
That was weird.
That was weird. Did you want to keep it? You thought it was cute.
Were you worried that we were gonna throw it away? Yeah.
Did we throw it away? No, we didn't.
We didn't.
Never.
We gave him to a nice home.
Why?
Well, because we can't keep the cat.
Why?
Because he's not ours.
He doesn't belong to us. We're still not entirely sure who he belongs to.
Yeah, our
He just came out.
Yeah, he just came out of nowhere, right?
Yeah, I just saw him. I just looked around and I just saw him. I just saw him come out.
Yep.
I just saw him.
So the property manager sent out an email. Nobody here claimed the cat. I reached out to people on Facebook and I found someone who was willing to come take the cat overnight. I was adamant. We were both adamant. He's not going back outside. We're not going to just let him go. It was
Right, it's like
freezing.
20 degrees outside. We're not going to put this cat outside. But like, well, first I think we started.
Well, we were like, it has to be let out of the cage overnight. And like we don't have a big apartment. We don't have the space. Even if we put him in a bathroom, chances are one of them will forget, open the door,
Right.
and we'll have to recatch her.
We started looking up like the local SPCA, local cat shelters, anyone that would be able to like scan for a microchip too. Because again, we know that there's neighborhood cats, and we just wanted to make sure that it got home to a safe home.
Absolutely zero help.
Nothing. Everything is closed. Everything. There was one that was like 45 minutes away, and I think that they said that they could scan, but they couldn't hold the cat. And I was like, I don't like. I had to work in the morning. I was like, there's just too many things going on right now. Like we can't, And again, people are like, oh, who cares if he works? We only have one car, which means that one of us is a slave to the other person if we have to go anywhere.
The best case scenario happened because the guy that came is a cat person, and he instantly fell in love with him. Once the cat was out of the crate, he already has the cat's name is Squeaker. He named it Squeaker.
His name is not Squeaker.
Why?
Because his name is not anything.
His name is not anything? Well, it's Squeaker now.
So his name is not Squeaker.
Okay.
So he's already a cat person. He had all of the things for a cat, and he went and got the cat scanned at the vet, and there was no match. So he kept him, and I'm happy. I'm like, he wanted him. He was like, I feel bad for saying this, but I really hope he doesn't get claimed.
Now I know, so like we put it up on the local community page on Facebook.
With all the pictures.
We put it up on the local community page, I think, as well. And I know that there was a thread. Apparently, some older woman who lives across the street in one of the houses
was feeding cats or something.
Was like taking care of just like feral roaming cats. And they thought that this was one of her cats, but she just passed away a couple days ago. So I think that that's where this cat came from because he wasn't microchipped or anything. But he is in a nice home now. We are not afraid of cats.
My husband is a very protective person.
I just didn't want the kids to get hurt.
We like the cat.
I just didn't want the kids to get hurt, and that was my biggest concern was having to deal with that and then having to because listen, if that cat touched one of the kids, it was going to be going outside and I wouldn't feel bad about it at that point.
Yes, it was.
But it did. It definitely it sparked a lot of controversy online with the post because, first of all, the first comments that started coming through were, "How could you be scared of a cat? You're overreacting." Yada yada yada.
People thought I was absolutely insane for my reaction, and I'm like,
It
I
wasn't.
understand that I'm dramatic, and
Listen,
I
it
get
was a
that
bit much, but
I get that I'm
This is kind of not weird.
I
Yeah.
get that I'm loud. I get all the things. My husband knows how I am. Like, I'm just dramatic. But also, again, we're sitting here vibing out, and you just see this animal in your house that doesn't belong.
Yeah.
It didn't matter what it was. Could have been the sweetest cat of all time. I was scared out of my mind.
But then, okay, so those were the first comments, and then people started commenting like on me, and they were like, "How is such a big guy like afraid of a little cat?" And like they really only saw a glimpse of it. And I get like the video started in full on panic mode because it was you screaming, "Call maintenance, call somebody," this, that, and the other. Then they see me calling my sister-in-law who lives 20 feet away from us, who is a dog groomer, right? So like there was so many like this is what happens on the internet. People don't have all the information. And it didn't matter. The funniest thing, like truly people don't watch all the way through or read on the internet.
They're like, well, don't throw it outside and don't do this. And I can't believe you called maintenance and all these different things.
We gave like a full recap where like the cat is in a safe spot. We are fine here. Like this is what happened, yada yada, yada. And like all the questions keep, what happened to the cat? Did you put the cat outside? Where's the cat now? It's like, come on, people. Use your heads for 2 seconds. Yeah, we just left it. We just left the cat.
You need to go to bed.
Yeah, you should be asleep. But then the internet got really nasty. We had to turn the comments off because people were getting a little cruel with that. So we did find out. We eventually found out how the cat got in because we speculated Jason has this habit of leaving the door open constantly, whether he's going to get the mail for us, take trash out, if he just comes home from school and he just forgets to close the door, whatever it is. On New Year's Day, we went over to my sister-in-law's apartment. So we walked the 20 feet across to the next building over, and we had sent Jason back to get Diet Coke. Yes. And I guess in that time span, so he came and got the Diet Coke and then neglected to close the door behind him, as he does. So what was it, yesterday? Yesterday, our upstairs neighbor, she came down and told you about it, right?
Yep.
So she said, "Hey, on New Year's Day, I saw that your door was open. I came to check if everything was okay. You guys weren't here, so she shut the door." So it had to have been after Jason came and left. But we're assuming that within that time period, that cat got into the house. Yeah, and so there he was, just hiding underneath the bed.
Who knows? It might have been, I think it was 2 days. 2 days he was in the house,
Well,
which is actually really creepy. But
it is. And then my speculation. So we have a bed that has like the back goes up and down, and I guess the bed has been on an angle in the room because your corner of the bed has scratched a hole in the wall from going up and down, and there's like plaster dust on the floor.
I know.
Right. I didn't notice that. I didn't see that when I was like looking the other night.
Under a couch.
Yeah. And I started to think, I was like, tell me that there's like a hole
Oh my gosh.
in the wall underneath our bed to
I would
our
have
neighbor.
had to sleep at a hotel.
And it's like
I've
our
been so scared.
neighbor's cat or something, like some kind of cat's living in the wall. It was the craziest experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
it definitely got blown up for like nothing.
We do.
Thank you, Addie. And I really do believe, like, my takeaway from this experience is there needs to be more accessible, like, pet care at nighttime. Like, emergencies happen for pets too, and I know that like they have emergency vets and things, but like we could not get in touch with anyone. We must have called like 10 different numbers.
Yeah, I really couldn't believe that
And
nobody was available.
I got one person that was 45 minutes away from here, and they seemed annoyed that I even called about this. Because I get it, right? Like, listen, I know what you pet people are like, and everyone's like, well, just keep the cat. The cat shows you. Just keep the cat. Listen, I'm not paying for a fucking cat. I'm not keeping a cat. I'm not dealing with that. I don't have the budget for that amount of Allegra. That's a good idea? No. Everyone said that we should get Addie a cat now because she was so sweet about it.
But we can't buy a cat.
Yeah, we can't buy a cat.
No, we can't.
And we'll start small with a guinea pig or something. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the cat story.
So that's the cat story.